B for buildings, A for antennas, S for span, like a bridge, and E for earth, like a cliff. We found out about some base jumps this summer and went along. It's over 1,000 feet down at the Royal Gorge in Canyon City, Colorado.
You guys hold still. That's a pretty good shot right there. Okay.
The usual tourists were gawking at the view off the highest suspension bridge in America.
It's got to be a long walk.
Suddenly, across the bridge came two men who didn't look much like tourists.
Right here. Yeah, this is fun.
See you on the ground.
Yeah.
I need something to hold on to.
Next came Jeff Wagner, a skydiver who had never base jumped before, and Robin Hyde with 16 jumps under his belt.
It's just tremendously satisfying to jump off of things. When you jump off of a building or a bridge, you know that you're moving because you have reference points. The earth is whizzing by you and it's coming up at you very rapidly. And so you have a much clearer idea of velocity. To put it in very simple words, the attraction of base jumping is 0 to 70 in 3 seconds.
Where are the gear bags at?
It's coming.
The crowd loved it.
That is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. I wish I had the nerve.
You got to have guts, that's for sure. You got to have guts.
No, that's just crazy.
Those guys were great. Really great.
Those are great.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Real good.
But the police were not so amused.
Excuse me, Mr. Wagner?
Base jumps down the Royal Gorge are illegal.
I'd do it all over again.
Not today, please.
No, not today. No, it was great. It was a great thrill.
There's an old saying that skydivers are more afraid of not living than they are of dying. Short of dying, there's basically nothing that's going to keep me from continuing with this sport. There's a tremendous feeling, emotion of just exhilaration and peace, for lack of a better word. I find a lot of peace at high speed.
The sport claims 88 certified base jumpers. Since 1978, when it began, 10 have died, including its founder. But that doesn't seem to stop them.
When I launch off the object, any lack of confidence or thoughts that were going through my mind are totally overwhelmed by the experience of falling adjacent to an object.
One and jump.
Yeah, it's the free fall. That's what it's all about.
Nick Fatiris, a 24-year-old Australian, has been traveling around America jumping off everything and anything. For him, a city skyline is much more than just another great view.
I go straight downtown, city centre, and look up. Then I usually go to the local airport, buy a sectional map, and that gives me an indication of the altitude of the possible jumping sites in the area.
Under cover of night, Nick tried to take the Sears Tower in Chicago, but the guards got to him before he could even start.
Yep. I've had a couple of problems with the law, and that's mainly because, you know, I've attacked some of the world-class buildings here, which people get very excited about.
And Nick's had other problems.
One night I was by myself, and a chap came along and said he was an undercover cop and he wanted to see what was in my backpack, right? I said, give us a look at some identification, undercover cop, whereupon he pointed a gun at me and said, hand over your money.
You were mugged. But Nick keeps jumping. He's scouting out another building, by far the most dangerous type of jump. This one is only 500 feet high. There's no time for a reserve chute and only a few seconds of free fall.
There's a lot of traffic here, even late at night.
Mark Hewitt is Nick's partner for the jump.
And there's also a lot of winds that whip in around through these buildings.
He's jumped 50 times in the last year, despite a serious accident.
I had a malfunction off of a building. I hit the ground at a very high speed before I could really deal with the problem. And I broke both my legs and my arm and my nose. And spent near a month in the hospital recovering.
Do you remember your first jump?
My first base jump?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
What was that like? What did you feel? Were you scared?
I was very scared. It was a building, and I was very scared looking at the cars and the street lights and all the people. And
what did you think at that point?
I wasn't going to make the jump. I was ready to go back down the elevator. And my friend looked at me very calmly, and he said, you know, if you go down that elevator, you'll probably kill yourself for being a failure. So you might as well die a hero and make the jump.
We began the climb at 4:30 in the morning to avoid getting caught.
Can't you guys do this in the middle of the afternoon instead of the middle of the night?
Up 38 flights of stairs.
Are we having fun yet?
Yeah, I want to get up at 3:30 in the morning and jump off the top of a building. All the time.
We took a break to check the wind while the city slept.
I've always had this fantasy about having an apartment and packing in the living room, walking out onto the balcony at my leisure, just barreling off and landing below.
This is 20, so what do we got to go here? Almost halfway. 20 down, 20 to go. Can I take you guys to a nice amusement park or something?
We reached the roof just before dawn. I got nervous just realizing what was about to happen.
When we jump off, we don't see that we're risking our lives. And we don't have any type of death wish. We're just sportsmen. And this is our sport.
We're looking at a little bit of activity. Will be another 2 minutes.
It's in my blood, the sport of base jumping, and I really enjoy it, and it's pretty much what I live for.
Waiting on traffic, ground crew, waiting on traffic.
Mark waited for traffic to clear. I still couldn't believe they were going to do this.
No problem, it's all well and clear. Right or clear, you're looking good, mate. Get your foot off from under that thing. Put your
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Meet you guys in half an hour at the Bonaventure Hotel.
They made a clean getaway. Each jump had lasted less than 20 seconds. My return to Earth, a half hour later, was a little less spectacular.
Spear myself here. I'll go from here.
Now, after watching both of you guys this morning, climbing up there with you, watching you push off from the top, you're both nuts. I don't know how you do it.
You're nuts for walking back down.